Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Don't mind my appearance, girls wearing a bonnet, but I didn't want it to be like puffy in the background. And this is going to be my thumbnail for the video, so it is what it is. But essentially, today is December 19th, around 4:35 p.m. Today I did watch Avatar 2, Avatar: The Way of the Water. OGs would know that this came out um, over a decade ago. I was still in middle school, right? I had been anticipating the sequel since that movie. And James Cameron said that he thought out ideas for up to 7 movies. And it took over a decade for just the first sequel. So I'm concerned for this man. He is 68. I'm concerned about future sequels and the timing. But I digress. So after that, I ended up talking a little bit about it on my Instagram, and one of my friends ended up telling me, I should post this on TikTok, which I did, evidently. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, you know what? This would be a really interesting idea because I know that there is a series and a whole subgenre dedicated to monster and alien romances that I had yet to try. I knew specifically of Ruby Dixon. She has been on my TBR for maybe 2 years now, but I never dipped my toe into the water. And you know what? I thought, hey, that would be an interesting idea. Avatar lover tries alien romances for the first time, and bro, I found out that my Hoopla, in fact, has up to 20 books in the Ice Planet Barbarian series. So I'll put a screenshot here of what that looks like. The first book, titled Ice Planet Barbarians, and all I know is that it's essentially human women getting together with a blue species, and they have to procreate in order to survive. So that's all I know. At first, I was like, I can't get into this. It's kind of weird, mixing of species and whatnot. Avatar is not that, although Jake was a human at the time that he fell in love with Neferi. So, with that being said, I'm going to try this audiobook for the first time. If I like it, I'll share my thoughts, of course. And if I don't, I'll share my reasons why. Maybe make some comparisons. So, special thanks to that friend. They know who they are. But yeah, so I'll see you when I get back. Hi guys, so I'm offering a quick update in my bonnet. It is actually almost 3 weeks since that last clip. I first recorded the idea on December the 19th when I watched the Avatar 2 movie, The Way of the Water. And then I didn't bother picking up an alien romance, or I should say, this first alien romance for me since then until today, actually, just past midnight. And I ended up finishing it just now. It's maybe a little bit past 12. Yeah, 12:16 right now. But yeah, I'm just really impressed by my decisions. I'm also impressed by the story, of course, but I had a suspicion, and I'm glad my suspicion was right, that there are a lot of similarities between the Ice Planet Barbarians and the Avatar aliens. So before I get into the similarities, I am going to share that Ice Planet Barbarians follows the love story between Vekthal and Georgie. Georgie is a human woman. She was abducted from Earth by greenish aliens that are different from the Ice Planet Barbarians. So different aliens, but in this situation, I guess she is actually the alien according to Vekthal's tribe. But anyway, after she was abducted along with other women, they ended up stranded on the ice planet or really cold planet of Vektal's tribe. And they essentially send her out to scout the planet, to scout the area, because obviously it's really cold and they don't know where they are. They need to be more aware of their environment. So she ventures off, but then she ends up getting caught in Vektal's trap. And he ends up resonating with her, which is similar to, I guess it equates to a bond with Avatar, except you don't necessarily have to be in contact yet. It's kind of like something in your chest that you feel this life or this warmth when you find your mate. And obviously, he has this. It's called a. It's just called resonating. And she, of course, does not have that connection yet because she needs the Kui. A Kui is a kind of parasite that allows you to survive on the ice planet, but it needs to feel some type of connection before you feel it activate, even though it's already activating as your lifeline in a way to help you survive and help your biology adapt to your surroundings, or your genetics adapt to your surroundings. So I thought that was an interesting twist. It kind of reminded me of the Host movie, if you remember that, with Saoirse. She was the leading character in the Host movie, and it also was based on a separate YA sci-fi series that I enjoyed the movie for. I kind of wish they pursued other movies with that, but it is what it is. And after they meet Vektal and Georgie, they don't understand each other's languages. I thought that was interesting, but they do kind of start to feel a connection. The thing is, I wasn't expecting him to just hop on her that first meeting because, again, you don't even understand each other yet. Like, that's kind of weird. But then throughout, it started to feel like kind of sweet and endearing because he would be very protective toward her, and he was very adamant about the fact that you are mine and I am yours type of personality, and I love that. Um, but of course, Georgie, on her end, she was still, of course, in her mind, she still is thinking about the other captured women who are stranded in the spaceship that she had to venture off from in order to scout the rest of the ice planet. But yeah, they eventually do get help, of course, but this is a little bit after they've already spent a few days together. There's also this AI element that ends up giving her the proper education or learning that she needs in order to understand Vektal and vice versa, so she could pick up the language. I thought that was an interesting element. There's also some history about Vektal's tribe and how they got to the planet, because that's actually not their home planet either. And then they make a home for themselves, and I just thought it was really sweet. And I definitely see myself continuing with the series. But yeah, this was a great start. I give it 4 out of 5 stars. And essentially, I knock off a star because I feel like Georgie probably should have felt more torn in terms of staying on the ice planet or returning to Earth, or at least trying to return to Earth. But obviously, there is no current possibility of that happening. And then it's already hinted at the other aliens are resonating with other rescued females. But yeah, this was an interesting story. I'm enjoying the similarities between this and Avatar in terms of finding a new world, the bluish creatures with tails, and then being able to have your one mate for life. Like, it's just such a monogamous tribe, and I kind of like that. I'm not crazy about polyamorous romances. In fact, I haven't really tried any because that just doesn't pique my interest. At least not yet. Who knows? Maybe eventually. But right now, no, I'm definitely down for monogamous relationships and lifelong relationships. So, yeah, this one, 4 out of 5 stars. Not sure when I'm going to continue the series, but yeah, I definitely want to get at least 2 more books in before I conclude this vlog, and just to share my overall thoughts. But yeah, so that's it for now. Hi guys, so today is January the 9th, a little bit after 2:40 or so. I did finish Barbarian Alien by Ruby Dixon, which is the second book of the Ice Planet Barbarians series. I have to say, this one is better romance-wise compared to book one, in my opinion. It's between Rahash and Liz. Liz was one of the human women who were abducted in book one from planet Earth. And she doesn't want to resonate with anybody. She wants it to be more so her choice. She's very independent, a little feisty, has some playfulness to her. I love that for her character. Whereas Rahash is a close friend of Vektal from book one. He's more of a loner Ice Planet barbarian, and he did have an unfortunate history in terms of his parents and being alone a lot. So he was always waiting for his mate. He never took a lover, and he's just so devoted and protective toward Liz. There are some times when there's caregiving involved between the pair of them, protecting from creature attacks, which were also interesting. But yeah, and then there were a couple references to James Cameron's Avatar, calling the Ice Planet Barbarians equivalent to the Na'vi people in Liz's eyes. So from her perspective, she definitely made those references, and I appreciate that. I'm glad I called it before I read it. I know this series blew up a while back on Book Talk, but at the time, I clearly didn't hop on the bandwagon. Honestly, I probably wasn't even on TikTok that much at the time. But yeah, I finally got into it. And you know what? It's holding me over, hopefully, until, Avatar 3 comes out. I'll be enjoying this in the meantime. I'm not sure when I'll get to book 3. I'm not even sure who will be the couple of that book. But yeah, so this one I enjoyed more than book one. I will say Vektal and Georgie got on my nerves a little bit in their tribal rules and about Rahash breaking rules, even though he already resonated with his mate. They didn't seem to take into account how their romance started. Like Vektal literally was doing things to Georgie when she wasn't awake. Like there are some things that I feel like they were being so judgmental toward Rahash, who was actually trying to take things more slower, like suppress his urges toward Liz, whereas Vektal and Georgie were kind of quick and instant in their relationship dynamic. So yeah, definitely some hypocritical aspects from them. I favor Liz and Rahash over them for sure. There was the threat of being exiled, but it's only temporary, so that's great. Yeah, so whenever I get to book 3, I'll update, but otherwise, chances are I do have a goal when I plan to have this vlog done, just to share my thoughts within a reasonable time frame, as an Avatar lover. But yeah, that's all I have to say for now. I'm hoping to get some work done today. I might start a contemporary romance because I do have some of those on my Hoopla. And of course, they expire within, I think, like 21 days is each borrowed book. It can be ebook or audiobook or even movies they have available. If you haven't checked out Hoopla yet, definitely do so. If you have access to it through your library, it's free. But yeah, that's all I have for now. So until next time. Hi guys, so today is January the 10th. I did end up finishing Barbarian Lover. I listened to the audiobook by Ruby Dixon as I'm working. Thankfully, I'm in a position where I can partially work remotely from home. But this book follows Kira and Aihako. Essentially, Aihako is one of the Ice Planet Barbarians of the tribe, and Kira was one of the human women who were abducted from Earth. She is the only one who received a translator, and it was implanted in her ear, so she's kind of forced to hear a lot of things and understand them. One of the things that annoys her, or I guess affects her so, would be hearing other couples be able to resonate, and she has yet to do so. She doesn't believe she ever will because of infertility. She was told she would be infertile from Earthlings, her Earthling doctor, after experiencing a health issue. But Aihako is persistent and he wants to court her. He even gives her courting gifts that I think was really fun. And yeah, he's just really persistent with her, which I love. She didn't want to pursue him or let him pursue her because she was concerned about someone else being able to resonate with him, and then because she couldn't do so, that she would inevitably get attached and then have her chosen mate be stripped from her. So he was just very devoted, and it was just a satisfying read. I'm not sure if it is like genuine quality, and I hate to say that, but because I was already enjoying the world and because this is a new to me alien romance subgenre, perhaps this is just, an intro level. I'm not sure, but again, I can't say. Maybe I'll come back to it. I could see myself listening to the series again for sure. But I'm only 3 books in. There are 19 full-length novels, and thankfully they are all available through my library, so I can just return to it. But for now, I think I'm going to leave it at 3 because I definitely want to get to my other books on my Hoopla before they expire. I don't want to be wasting borrowed credit for my library because you only get, or at least for me, I'm not sure if it varies depending on state or county, but on Hoopla, you can only get up to 12 borrows per month. So even if I were to say have 5 left over for this month, if I don't use them by next month, then they're just gonna expire. So it's best to, I guess, stock up. If by the end of the month, say I have those 5 left, I'll probably pick another 5, so that way I don't lose those credits, and then it'll go into the next month with all 12 credits still available for me. But they don't roll over, sadly. But I think that's pretty good to get 12 borrows per month for something that is free. I mean, is it really free though? It's paid by tax dollars, but I digress. Yeah, so this one I ended up giving 5 out of 5 stars. Kira, I just love the fact that she was just so she was so monogamous. Like, she knew she wanted to only have her person and she didn't want to lose her said person. Whereas Aihako was so adamant about, I'm going to choose you regardless what my Kui says. I'm always going to pick you. I don't care what nature tells me. But of course, it works out in the end. And there definitely is a little bit of kidnapping in here. There is some violence in here. Not explicit, though. I wouldn't say. It wasn't as explicit as book 1 was when they were first abducted. But yeah, it's more so about their physical relationship and, being able to talk about Kira's infertility and the possibility that they'll be separated because resonating. So yeah, this one 5 out of 5 stars for me. But yeah, so it's been a couple days since I completed the first 3 books of the Ice Planet Barbarian series. I do plan on continuing. Right now there are a total of 19 books, and thankfully they're all available on my Hoopla, so I will eventually get around to them. But I have been making progress on other books. So until next time, my name's Alexis. Take care and happy reading.